Welcome to Roadtrip WDW. I'm your host, Rebecca Schlau. This is episode 11, and today I have some special guests who will be talking about Disney World and their recent Disney World trip. This is actually part 2 from our last episode that featured Courtney. I'm now going to be interviewing Courtney's 2 sons. So let's head on over to them. Who do we have with us today?
I'm Landon Monson, and
I'm Weston Watson.
How old are you guys?
I'm 10.
And I'm 12.
So, how many times have y'all been to Disney World?
I'd say about like 4 or 5 around. Not positive.
Do y'all remember your first trip?
Not really, no.
Not very well. We were very little.
Do y'all remember actually being in strollers?
Yes.
Yes,
I remember. It was the best part.
We went to my grandma's birthday party there,
Uh-huh.
her birthday, and we always wanted to push the strollers to the bus stop.
So y'all, wow. So how old were you then?
Probably around I was probably 3. He was probably 1 about.
Oh my God.
So very hard to remember.
So y'all are practically Disney World experts at such young ages.
Oh yeah.
And so y'all just got back from a spring break trip, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And where did y'all stay?
It's the last time we stayed at the Grand Floridian, and this time we did the, what was it called? I can't remember.
Port Orleans.
Yeah, Port Orleans.
Oh
We
my
went to the
goodness.
Riverside in Port Orleans.
So give me y'all's opinion on y'all's favorite hotel or resort that y'all stayed in so far.
Probably Polynesian. My favorite was Polynesian.
Mine was the Grand Floridian.
Yeah, I liked Grand Floridian a lot too, but I would rather stay at Polynesian. That one was my favorite.
Okay, so what was your favorite part of the Polynesian then? Let's go to your favorites. What was your favorite parts?
The room design and the monorail, being able to go to the resort just from the parks, I felt like was a convenience. And I also liked the buffet that they have there. That was one of my favorite restaurants at Disney World. And
Which restaurant at the Polynesian? Are you talking about Ohana?
Yeah, Ohana. Yeah, that's right. Sorry.
Yes, that's awesome. I've heard really good reviews about that. And, you know, the Polynesian, I think we may have already talked about it. It's one of those deluxe resorts on the monorail loop, and it's very, very convenient for those of us who want to head straight to the Magic Kingdom or Epcot. You can just hop on the monorail. Great for those with strollers as well, which we have already discussed with your mom last week. And tell me more about your favorite resort.
The Grand Floridian, I like it because you have a really good view of the Magic Kingdom. You can see the castle at night. My mom,
That's awesome.
she could look through her mirror and see the
Whoa, that's cool. That is great. You know, it does have a good view, and you can even see all the fireworks from both of those resorts because they're both on the monorail.
And one of my favorite parts about the Grand Floridian was the little cafe that they had there. We were really close where we'd stay, and or where we had stayed, and we would always get like a midnight pizza, we'd call it. When we got back, we would always go get a pepperoni or cheese.
And does it
pizza.
stay open that late?
Yeah, I think it's 24/7. I'm not positive, but it definitely stays open until around midnight.
Now,
after the park's closed.
Now, are those one of those pizzas where you can combine your snack credits?
Yes,
That's
and we would always
great.
do the refillable cups. That
The mugs.
The mugs. And we would always go down and get a couple sodas and a pizza, go back upstairs, and just kind of relax for the night.
So tell me more about y'all's recent trip and y'all's most recent hotel, which was Port Orleans, Riverside, right?
Yes, it was fun.
What was it like?
Well, it was a smaller room than the Grand Floridian, but I kind of liked it because it was more of a convenient spot. I felt like it was closer to everybody, and we had 2, I think they were queen beds, and it was nice, and they had some really cool headboard designs on them that I keep thinking about. They were just like little pictures.
Did they light up?
Ours didn't, but
No.
we've stayed there before, and we had ones that had lighted up.
Now, did y'all eat at the food court area there at Port Orleans?
Yes, whenever we were going home, we ate breakfast there.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was really good.
I hear it's really good there.
Yeah, we had I think it was, I forget what it's called, but we had like, it came with sausages, bacon, eggs, and Mickey waffle.
Yum.
Yeah,
So when y'all walk into Port Orleans, I mean, do y'all go in all together as a family and experience that first entry moment together?
Yes.
What's that like? What's that like for y'all when y'all first get to Disney
very
World?
exhilarating. I remember last time, and this time too, when we would first come in, we all like kind of screamed when we saw the Disney sign. We all got very anxious, and it was like that.
Like when you're driving, when you're getting under and you can just see it. Definitely. Oh, I love that. Yes.
Best.
Whenever we go in as a family, we always like to check out how big the bathroom is.
Perfect. Yes.
Go explore the room and
you explore a little bit.
Nooks and crannies. Yeah.
Oh, that's so fun. So, what's the first thing y'all usually do when y'all get to your hotel room?
Pack.
Unpack?
Yeah. We get everything situated, who's sleeping where, get where our stuff's going to be, how, my most important thing is chargers.
And
for, like, phones and everything.
And speaking of sleeping arrangements, and y'all are 10 and 12, so y'all are both still small enough probably to sleep in this same bed. Y'all don't need your own bed yet, and so your parents sleep in the other bed.
Yes,
so y'all are y'all comfortable with that amount of space, because that's a lot of boys in one room.
Yeah. It's nice. I mean, I'm fine with it.
Okay.
Sometimes he gets a little aggravated at me because I'm a crazy sleeper.
Are you?
He has weird sleeping positions.
Okay, that's funny. So were there enough charger outlets and things for your electronic devices?
Well, we had 2 on one side of the bed, and that was pretty much it. I had one that was like kind of more of an adapter, and I could put more charging slots into it, so that was convenient. But on our side, there was only those 2 ports.
Just regular plug-ins, or did they actually have USB ports in the plugs?
No, they were just regular outlets.
Okay, so you could bring your own chargers and things like that. Okay, so let's go on. Let's just start with your favorite parks, and then we'll go into your favorite rides. Out of the 4 theme park, let's go to Landon. What's your favorite theme park?
Well, mine is Magic Kingdom. I feel like most people's is, because it just has so much variety and different lands. Like there's Adventureland, Tomorrowland,
Frontierland, Liberty Square. Yeah,
it's so nice. And I feel like it's one park with 4 different themes. So every place is different, so you never really get old, like at Epcot, where it's kind of like Epcot. It reminds me of like the different countries and everything that there is to offer. But say like Animal Kingdom, it's all animals, of course, but there's a lot of variety, and I feel like each day is different if you want to go there. So I really like that part of it.
So tell me more about your favorite rides at Magic Kingdom. And so we'll start, and I'll go back and forth at Magic Kingdom since that's kind of our starting point. But what are y'all's favorite rides at Magic Kingdom, and why?
Mine's Space Mountain, definitely. We rode it early in the morning, and it was like better than coffee. Like it was the best way to wake up.
Better than coffee. That's a great descriptor. And Weston, what do you think?
My favorite is Splash Mountain.
Ooh, yes.
Me and my dad's favorite.
That's my favorite ride too.
Landon doesn't like it because he thinks you get too wet, but
I
like it because there's like a lot of like trick drops. Like,
if
you ride it your first time, you don't really know whenever
you think like the first time you go up that it's about to be the big drop, and it's not. It fakes you out.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's kind of like relieving that it's not, because then you just relax and then once you get there, it's like your heart just feels like it's about to,
it's like that build up. Now I love Splash Mountain because it's one of the longer rides anywhere and so I like that it takes up a lot of time. Like it feels really worth the wait because it's a long ride. I love all the drops. My child Martha, one of her favorite parts about this is I'm gonna be a little gross, guys, but there's this bear, and for some reason in this ride it seems like its booty is always sticking out in weird places, so y'all just have to check that out.
But
I love Splash Mountain.
Yeah, I it's not that I dislike it, but they were wanting to ride it like midday, and I was like, if we're gonna ride it, it's gonna be later in the day where I can go home and then change out of my wet clothes, because I was not willing to be wet like the whole
You
day.
didn't want to like get cooled off?
No, I mean it,
Oh,
was,
wait,
it was
I
pretty
guess-
cold when we went
Yeah,
there.
that's true.
There was one day that was pretty hot. I think it was our
Yeah,
last day.
It was our last day, and that was when I was like, okay, I'll ride it. And so we did middle of the day, and it was refreshing.
But the thing, middle of the day, you do have a lot of time to
dry off. Yeah,
and just,
I
but
understand.
The one thing I like Space Mountain a lot. The one thing I don't like about it is the ride time. I don't think it's worth waiting 1 or 2 hours to ride like a minute long ride.
Now,
I definitely would recommend fast passes for it.
yes, I was about to say, have y'all ever actually had to wait in line for anything? Because I know you got some expert parents here.
We did.
Y'all had to wait?
Yeah, we did going over to Hollywood Studios, the new Slinky Dog Dash ride.
Oh, yeah.
We had
yes.
to wait probably around 2.5 to 3 hours for it, for our first go-around. I would say that if it's your, like, first time ever going to the parks, or Disney in itself, would be not to try and wait for that, just because of how long it is and how many more things you could do with that time if it's your first time. But if you've been a couple times or you want to try it for the newness of it, I would definitely recommend doing it.
And so, before we get back into other Magic Kingdom rides, tell me about what y'all actually do with your time while you're in line waiting. How do you occupy your time?
Well, a lot of people do charades.
Yeah, we
Like-
did that too.
We do charades a lot. There's an app on your phone that you can do charades.
Are you talking about the Disney World app?
No, I did that. That was fun. I didn't do it much because we all kind of had our own thing going on. So no, it was very cooperative, I felt like, and a bunch of the members in our group had kind of their own thing going that they were doing. But I personally liked it. We did the one for it was either Toy Story Mania or Slinky Dog Dash, and it was like a board game. That was the only one that.
And that's the one on the Magic or the Disney World app where it's the Disney
Play.
My Disney Experience,
No,
but
that's
it's
not it.
My Disney Park or
let me check.
something.
Here.
It's like the parks.
It's like
Play.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah,
and it
it's the
is-
Play app.
Yeah, Play Disney.
Play Disney.
what it was.
So there's stuff that y'all could do collective as a group.
Oh, yeah.
But y'all also played charades. Now tell me what is charades? What do you mean?
Well,
is it on the phone?
Yes.
Yeah.
What you do is you have your phone on your forehead, and the people are like giving you clues, and you have to guess what it is. And if you do, you flip it forward. If you want to pass, then you just flip it backwards.
Yeah, and
And
there's
then it gives you your score at the end of how you.
That's a really fun way to occupy your time. And then it doesn't seem like you're waiting in line.
Yeah.
Then you're actually having fun and you're doing good family
Oh, yeah.
fun
And
time
there's,
together.
there's different themes that you can do, and you can like create your own if you're wanting to do like Disney characters or Disney movies or Disney princesses, whatever it is. It's really nice and fun. It also creates kind of memories too. I felt
Absolutely.
like if I remember one, I think it was our last trip, but we had like Frog and Weston was like ribbit, and he was hopping up and down on the ground. And,
In the
it was
middle of a
just-
line?
Yeah, it was just hilarious.
That's a really good tip for people, that if you do end up having to wait in line, go ahead and get connected to some game apps or even the Disney Play app, because then you'll find things to do together. So the line, you're not wasting your time. You're actually doing something that's fun and memorable and with your family.
Yeah, and I'd like to add, if you do the Play Disney app, I would recommend having a few other options, because not all of the rides have their own game. So, and you have to be in the queue for that ride to do that ride's game. So you can't go over to like.
So that's interesting.
Yeah.
So if you download that app, you go into a line, and then you
It
can.
gives you the game for that.
That is really cool.
ride.
We've never even done that because we usually just have fast passes, so we've never actually taken the time to do that. But that sounds great. Weston, what are some of your other favorite rides at Magic Kingdom?
I like the laugh floor.
Yes.
Mike Wazowski's laugh floor. It's really funny. They make jokes
Uh-huh.
of people in the audience.
Yeah.
And there's this 10-year-old or 9-year-old girl, I can't remember, but she asked what her favorite princess was, and they said Sleeping Beauty, and there's 2 ladies sleeping on each other.
That's
that
so
were
funny.
on the big screen. It's really funny.
So it's kind of improv, it sounds like.
Yes.
It's
Yeah,
right.
I think
That's funny.
I think they do like live people behind.
Yeah.
So they can have cameras like around the stage setting, so they can see.
That's awesome. I've actually never done laugh floor, but I think it's probably because my kids at this point have been a little too young to get it.
Yes.
But now
do-
might be a good time
they
to
do
go.
a lot of jokes for the younger kids.
They do?
Too. I feel like it's more of a around 5-6
Yes.
5-6-year-old good experience for them.
Yes.
And even older, like we still love it. It's hilarious.
Do y'all come prepared with jokes?
You
well,
can submit jokes there,
You
but
can.
sometimes we can't really figure things
Yeah, we can't
out.
really think of any. I did like 2, but mine didn't get picked.
Okay. What are some of y'all's other favorite
I
rides?
like Big Thunder Mountain.
Yes.
That's definitely one of our favorites.
It's usually it's a roller coaster, but there's really not one of those big drops. It's one of those twist and turn
Yeah.
rides.
Is it scary for those who are kind of scared of roller coasters?
Yes,
If you have like say a 4 or 5-year-old with you
Yes, it'd be a
traveling,
little
I would recommend
intense.
doing Seven Dwarfs because that has a couple fast turns and sudden drops, but it is probably the most mellow of all roller coasters.
It's very smooth.
Yes,
Yes.
definitely. I feel like Big Thunder Mountain would be not quite up there with Space Mountain or Rock and Roller Coaster if you've done those. Probably just under Space Mountain because it is kind of a lurchy and it
Yes.
kind of rocks a lot.
Sure.
And it
Yes.
there's not like the individual bar things too. If you do that, they've just started kind of introducing those. So if you ride with like an adult and it's a small child, you're gonna
put your
keep a
hand over.
watch on it, yeah.
Okay, I see what you mean. So y'all like the mountains?
Yes,
Yes,
we do.
yes.
You are mountain people, huh? Okay. What are some other of your favorite attractions? What do y'all usually get fast passes for besides the ones you've already mentioned?
In Epcot, we usually get fast passes for Test Track.
Mm-hmm.
It is high speed
Car.
Yeah.
car ride.
And don't you get to design your own car before you go
Yeah,
on
yes,
it?
That's
you
really
get
cool.
to design it, and there's power,
Efficiency.
efficiency.
Yeah, you can
and you-
design it with your
and you-
kids.
yeah,
That's
and
really
you
cool.
all test it.
If you
and-
do design it, do fast passes because if you don't have fast passes, they changed this. It has presets, so you don't get to like draw out your own car.
Really?
shape.
So
And it
if
just
you're
has preset ones that you just get to select from.
That is new because last time I had a fast pass, we designed our own car. So now there's no more design element if you have fast pass. Well, I could
No,
see the.
it is only if you have fast passes. So if you don't have fast passes, then you only get presets.
You're kidding.
No, but if you do the fast pass, then you get to draw like the shape of your car. You
Oh,
get to
yeah.
do selection. You get to do like engines, decals.
Oh my
colors.
gosh.
But like presets, I think they have like a yellow sports car, like a green truck, and like one of the red buggies or something like that you
Yeah.
could select from. But there wasn't like a design feature.
So Test Track is really great for 10 and 12-year-old boys, it
Yep,
seems.
it
yeah,
can't-
it's fun.
It can be good for maybe a 7 or 8-year-old.
Yeah.
Maybe below 7, it'd be a little bit more intense. But
I think last year my 5-year-old daughter went on it. It was her first thrill ride, and she was scared, but she laughed, and it was okay. But I could see if she was a year younger, she would be kind of scared of it. Now, since we're at Epcot, now again, Epcot's one of those parks that you can get to from the monorail if you stay at one of those monorail
Yes.
resorts. But Epcot has a ton of attractions and lots of things to see. Landon, what besides Test Track, what is your favorite ride over there at Epcot?
Well, personally, Epcot is probably my least favorite.
Really?
Yes, I feel like it doesn't. I feel like it's more on the exploration side, especially, or trying out. And they have a lot of good foods, which is probably my favorite part of Epcot.
Yeah.
The different selections, going to anywhere for like, or I forget where it is, but you can go somewhere and get like a pastry, or like go
Joffrey's.
to around Mexico and get Mexican food. Like, it's just fun. I did like the Donald Duck ride. I forget what it's called.
The Three Caballeros?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's right.
Yes, inside the Mexican pavilion in there.
Yes, I liked it.
Yes.
It was probably one of my favorites.
Really?
Yeah, the one thing that I really do like there is Soarin'.
Yes.
Probably,
Yes.
other than Test Track, probably my favorite ride. That one usually does have a long line, but it goes fairly quick, I feel like.
The Soarin' line? Yes, because they've opened up a third theater there
Yes,
too,
it's-
so
It's constantly moving.
that's
so.
good because a lot of people are debating which rides they need to run towards at Rope Drop right when the park opens, and a lot of people run straight to Soarin'. But then there's other people like us with little girls, and of course we run straight to Frozen Ever After.
Oh,
have
yeah.
y'all ridden Frozen
We did,
Ever After?
and that was probably one of the best things of that park, because after, the little shop that they have?
Yes.
We got hats there, and we're actually both wearing ours.
I'm actually wearing my hat right now.
Oh,
yeah,
you
They were
are.
Helly Hansen, and
Yes.
they were, I think we both got 2 souvenirs, each of
Wow.
us. So those were one of our
So,
two things that we got.
will boys like the Frozen ride even though it's frozen?
Yes,
Yes.
there's a little.
I feel like
It's
It's
there's
not-
a little bit of a dip, like kind of if you've ever gone on Pirates of the Caribbean. It's
Yes.
kind of like that drop.
that first
It's a
one.
little unexpected too,
Yes.
right?
It's,
But-
I mean, it's not ideal if you have like a teenager, but
Mhm. But y'all still like it?
yeah,
Yes.
So
I
it's
mean,
worth going
yeah
to check it
for
out.
the gift shop.
And I like the little animatronics. They've done a really good job
Yeah,
at
yes,
making
they
it
make
look
it
good.
real.
They make them look very realistic.
Was it ever broken down when y'all were there?
No, we had perfect times. It went fairly quickly too. It's one of those continuously moving rides. I would very much relate it to Pirates of the Caribbean, the boat factor and everything with it.
Yeah,
That's
very, very similar.
Pretty much what it is.
Did y'all ever ride it when it was Maelstrom?
We did, yeah. And
Do
that
you
was-
remember that?
Oh yeah,
Weston?
What does Maelstrom mean?
Right.
disappear.
Oh,
When it turns you around and you go backwards, that's what we always had.
Can you
think
tell
we
it's
thought of.
exactly the same as the
Yes.
Frozen ride?
Yeah.
Same track? Okay.
Um,
But it's still fun.
yes, I would.
Good.
I still.
So y'all check out the Norway Pavilion intensely, not just the Frozen ride. Sounds like they like the gift shop as well.
Yeah, it was really cool. They had a bunch of Helly Hansen stuff, that brand, and it's kind of high, on the higher.
Higher quality.
Yeah, it's.
So you're gonna pay. You're gonna
pay
spend some
quite a
dough.
bit more. They had, I think, some colognes and perfumes there too. I know that my mom, who was on the last one, she really loves the perfumes that they have there. She usually
Really?
gets one almost every time. That
Do
we're
you
there.
buy it there?
Yes,
Yes.
you can.
And you carry it around with you?
no. There
How
is-
do you do that?
I was just gonna say that. You can send it to your room.
You can.
Yes, for most places too.
So you can buy it there in the park and not have to hold it?
No,
Yeah.
you don't.
Oh.
You can do that. The only thing about that though is if your kid or someone is getting like a stuffed animal and they're wanting to have it like that night, like I can't wait to use it. You have to wait a day for it to ship to your room.
You really do?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So-
really good to know.
Yeah,
Like,
it's-
especially if it's something you want.
Yeah, so if it's last day and you're doing it and you're shipping it to your room,
Uh-oh.
that's not gonna.
That's not a good
work.
thing. Don't buy stuff and ship it to your room on the last day, guys.
In Epcot, there's England part of Epcot.
The England Pavilion?
Yes, and there's a restaurant, and there's like one other item, but it's mostly fish and chips.
Is it the Rose and Crown or is it the fish and it's just the
it's
fish and
just
chip
fish and
shop?
Chips. It's one of my favorite foods. It's
Do you eat the fish and
yes.
chips?
I disliked it. I wasn't a big fan of it. I'm not a big fan of fried fish, so it wasn't my favorite. But if you do like snacks, or not snacks, the meal plan where you have a kid, where you have to do the kid menu, both of them, or all of the options there were for adults, so you don't have to use it counts as a kid menu, or kid meal, but you still get the
Adult size?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's
Sorry.
a good tip. So you could potentially use a kid credit and get the same amount as an adult gets?
Yes.
That's good. So, but you like the fish, Weston?
Yes.
Fish and chips? That's wonderful. What are some of y'all's other favorite snacks and foods at Epcot specifically? Just Epcot.
I really do like the over by the Mexican Pavilion, the little spot that they have there. That's where we will most of the time eat. I like the food there.
Yes, that's.
Is it Mexican? So Mexican, like a fast food Mexican sort of thing?
Yes,
There's like nachos, tacos, quesadillas.
It's good and kid friendly.
Yes.
Do y'all ever eat the churros?
No, we've never had the churros there.
Any other favorite eateries at Epcot that you haven't mentioned?
It's not really an eatery, but we would visit there most of the time. Most of the parks have Starbucks, but
Yes.
we did Joffrey's instead.
Yes.
Because me and Weston always liked the Frappuccinos. from
At
Starbucks.
Joffrey's?
Yeah, they have frozen cappuccinos. And the great thing about that is instead of going to Starbucks and spending that expensive
Yes.
money on the
Fancy
deluxe
coffee? Yeah.
you can get Joffrey's and use it as a snack.
Oh,
So
you can.
Yeah, you can get coffee. They have donuts. I think they might have tea. Not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, hot tea, green tea.
I think they do.
Okay. Now, have y'all ever had a croissant donut at Epcot?
We had a chocolate-filled croissant
Yeah,
from
we
the
had a
German
chocolate-filled.
pavilion.
Oh, the
bakery.
France
Yeah,
Pavilion?
Yeah, France.
France.
Oh, those are so
They were really good.
I recommend the France Pavilion to everyone. They have a great bakery there in the back, or it's actually a little cafe, and they have tons of snack foods, baked items, lunch items. It's so good. What I mentioned again is the croissant donut, y'all. The croissant donut is my favorite snack in all of Epcot. So I'm going to implore you and your family to check one out next time. It's so good.
Yeah.
You can get it with ice
was
cream too.
Amazing.
Okay, so let's move on to what's our next park that we should go to? Your favorites? And,
Animal
Kingdom.
Kingdom.
okay,
yeah.
what are your favorite things to do at Animal Kingdom?
By far, Flight of Passage at the new Pandora.
Is that both of y'all agree on that?
No, my favorite is Mount Everest.
Yes.
I do like Everest.
Expedition Everest.
It's probably one of the up there with the high intensity roller coasters. It is
Everest?
I would say higher than Space Mountain, Big Thunder Mountain, and
I'd agree. It's
Seven
new.
Dwarfs. Yeah.
It's not as new as Seven Dwarfs, but it is one of the newer roller coasters, and it is very intense.
There is a where you go backwards on
Yes.
it, and it
Ooh.
you don't go upside down, but it really
It feels
makes
like
you feel.
We thought there was a corkscrew.
Yes.
We weren't. There isn't, but that's what it feels like.
Yes. So you will go backwards. Do y'all ever, Weston? Do you get sick? You're 10 years old, right? Do you
Yes,
ever
ma'am.
get sick on rides?
No.
So this
No.
doesn't make you sick at all.
No.
Were you scared
The first time.
we did it. Yes.
the first time? Okay. So you like Everest, and then you like Flight of Passage.
I agree on Flight of Passage. It's
You
my
love
second
it?
favorite. But
Yes. And have y'all ridden Flight of Passage without a fast pass before?
We did. When it had first opened, it was last trip, and we did that, and we had to wait 3 hours. It was
Ooh.
backed up all the way. I can't remember where exactly,
was
but
like
it was
the
way far
entry
backed up.
of-
Yeah.
So how old were y'all when y'all were in this 3-hour line?
It was last year, so
like
yeah, we
Wow.
were probably about the same age.
Did y'all do the same sort of thing in line, like play games
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff?
definitely.
So
We met the people in front of us. We became friends with. It was a family, and they had two younger boys. One was Weston's age, and one was a little younger.
what about, okay, so let's go back to these big long lines. What do you have to go to the bathroom? What do you do?
I take a parent,
Okay.
and
So you can get out of line and get back in?
yes, you might get a couple of side eyes or looks if you do. So I would recommend if you are in the need, try and go before, especially if it's
That's a good point,
a
yes.
long line.
What about if you get hungry or thirsty? What do you do in these lines?
Same thing. I mean, you can take a parent, but if you go back for food, then you will definitely get some.
Get the side eye,
And
huh?
they do have trash cans at the entry or when you get onto the ride, because you can't take any food or drinks onto the rides. So that's nice if you do. Or
Yeah.
if you get something before, and like a popcorn that they have for a snack. If you do a snack, you can carry it on. You might have to hold it though if you finish it earlier to throw it away at
Yes.
the beginning.
Yes.
Or at the start of the ride.
Yes, good point. So something about Flight of Passage that other people may not know about is that if you go the Fast Pass route, which I always recommend getting a Fast Pass for this ride because the lines get so long. But one problem with the Fast Pass line is you miss some of the attraction itself because from what I hear and what I've seen, I've never even seen it for myself. There's a lot of cool stuff in one of those rooms to look at.
I feel like they did have one for the Fast Pass line, but it didn't have as much detail in it. So I wouldn't say, I mean, if it's like 1.5 to 2 hour wait, I would definitely, if you don't have Fast Passes, do it because there is a bunch of cool stuff that you
What's the longest line that you feel like it's worth it? Like what?
Slinky Dog Dash.
Well, go back to Flight of Passage though. How long a line, like for first timers, let's say they can't get a Fast Pass for it, they want to ride it, what's the longest line max that you would wait? 2.5.
Maybe an hour.
If it's first time, 2.5 max, and that would have to be if you were really, really wanting to do it. Because if it's your first time, I would highly recommend going and trying out the things that are shorter, so you can get that full Disney experience instead of just having to do maybe 3 or 4 very long wait rides for a day.
That's a good point. So as first timers, maybe they should try to maximize their time better than waiting in the long lines.
Yes, I agree. I think if you were first time, try to get as many rides in a day as you can rather than doing a couple of big ones and only get a couple of those in. Now, if you do like a bunch of the shorter ones and then incorporate in some of the big ones, I feel like that would work. But if it's first time, I would not recommend doing like 3 or 4 of those in a day.
What are some other fun things that y'all have done at Animal Kingdom?
The jungle ride, or I forget what it's called.
The safari?
Yeah, safari. That's really cool. You get to see a bunch of exotic animals. I know they have like some giraffes, which was cool. And what were some of your favorites?
There was like elephants and rhinos.
And you can see them, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a moving zoo. Like
That's a great way to describe it.
Yeah,
It is like a moving zoo.
There's this really cool part of the ride. There's like a lake with alligators in it.
Real alligators?
Yes.
These aren't animatronics, guys. These are real live animals.
And there's like a creaky bridge, but it's safe. It's safe, but
I think it's like a trick.
It's like a trick. To
It's
make you
a
think
bumpy ride too, right?
Yes,
like
it
it's
is.
bumpier
Yeah,
than
it's
you think
off-road.
it should be. Yeah, that's great. And other things that are fun to do at Animal Kingdom.
I also liked the I can't think of its name. Come back to me.
Do you like Dinosaur?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
that's what it was. The Primeval Whirl, I think is what it was.
Primeval Whirl. Oh my goodness.
It's really fun.
That's in Dinoland, USA.
And it's one of those unexpected rides. There's
Yeah,
2 rides.
Really
and
short. It's kind of like hole in the wall.
it's
right?
one of those weird rides though that you don't think there should be that much of a height limitation, but y'all, I think your kid has to be pretty old to ride this. You have to be like 48 inches. So even my 6-year-old, or she won't be able to go on it again this year.
But I feel like if they're even like 4 or 5, it would be great for them.
It would be great, but they can't ride it.
But it's really smooth. It's not like bumpy, and you spin on it, but it's all like programmed, like where to spin and how. So you're not going to be going crazy. It's really fun. It's probably one of my favorite rides in Animal Kingdom. I always look forward to
Really?
Yeah.
Primeval Whirl.
Yeah, it is. It's like a roller coaster, but if
It is like a little mini roller
yeah,
coaster.
if you've done teacups in Magic Kingdom, it's like a spin, not as fast.
So it's like that on a roller coaster track?
It's like spinning on a roller coaster track.
It's like Teacups and Goofy's Barnstormer.
Yeah, it's really,
Yes.
really mellow.
Yes. For those of you who get motion sick, I definitely recommend popping that Dramamine before you get on Primeval Whirl. It is a lot of fun for kids, but for some reason adults like me, we get very sick. What about the actual ride Dinosaur? The dark ride?
Oh, that's very intense.
You think so?
Yes.
Heavily.
Are you scared of it?
I am, yes. I had to close
Sometimes.
my eyes for parts of it.
Really?
They jump out at you. So, like, when you're going through, it's...
Did y'all ride it this last trip?
Yes, we did. We
You
actually met
did?
some of the Disney employees.
You
there.
did?
Yes.
And, it's kind of like you're in a truck, and it's like the safari. It's very bumpy, and
But it's indoors.
yeah.
And you've been transported.
Yes,
you
you're like
go back in time into the
transporting-
dinosaur age, and the scientist needs you to find a certain dinosaur for him to do like tests on. I think it is, and you're looking for it, and
You have to beat the meteor
storm.
that.
That's right. That takes you out.
Yes.
that it made the dinosaurs.
I mean, since it scares you as a 12-year-old, at what age do you think kids will actually enjoy it rather than be terrified by it?
8 or 9.
Yeah, that's pretty old.
Yeah, I'm not.
It's very dark.
You're not a big fan?
It's not that
I'm not very scared of it.
it's not scary. It's just that because I know that it's coming, and that's the worst part. Because they'll like come out from the side, and they'll like lunge at you, and then they'll be like, and they're like weird hissing noises.
Yes.
And it just jump scares.
So it is an intense ride at Animal
Yes,
Kingdom.
it's
Okay.
dark and it moves fast.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Any favorite foods that y'all can think of back at Animal Kingdom? Any
Yeah.
snacks or
I
places
loved-
to eat?
In the Pandora, we got these slushy kind
Night
of things.
blossoms?
Yeah, the night blossoms. They were really cool, and they had like these weird.
Orby Bowl.
Boba balls?
Yeah. And they were kind of like Orbeez, if you know what those are. You'd eat them, and then they'd pop in your mouth, and
With juice in the middle or something.
yeah,
right?
it was kind of like a honey-like texture.
Yeah.
It was kind of thick and sticky.
Were they too sweet for y'all, or did y'all like them?
I loved them.
They're okay for me.
It was honestly, it was probably my favorite snack there. I had never had it, so I was very excited to try that. Another thing that if you do go there, they have a ginormous pretzel. It is like
Really?
bigger than my face.
How many people can eat that ginormous pretzel?
We all split it.
All 4 of y'all?
Yeah, and they have I think it's beer batter cheese for it.
Ooh.
It's really good.
So with the pretzels that you buy, do you have to pay extra for the cheese or dip it?
No,
Like, is there other dips?
One
too?
thing for that though is you can't use that as a snack, and it was $14. It was very expensive, but
That is a mega pretzel.
yeah, but it was big. So I mean, if you have like a big group,
So it's not something you should attempt on your own.
no,
Well, that actually sounds pretty good though, especially
is.
for a family.
I loved it.
The thing about Animal Kingdom and drinks is that they have
paper
straws, and for the animals, so
Yeah.
like, they don't get hurt. or anything.
Conservation.
Yeah.
Yes, and if they get real soggy. And
Ooh,
it's
yeah,
so-
that cardboard
Yes.
texture.
Fast, yeah.
So did they have straws at the other parks? I think they didn't. They get rid of straws and lids and stuff.
No, they didn't. They still have the plastic straws, but at the
Really?
Joffrey's, how we were kind of touching on those earlier, the coffee, they did have paper straws there. That was
Interesting.
In
they only had
every
paper
park
straws.
they have.
So
Joffrey's.
drink fast or get a mouthful of cardboard.
Yep,
Yes.
pretty much.
Okay. Any other? Did y'all ever go eat at any of the restaurants there, like Tusker House or?
We ate at Crystal Palace. It was one of my favorites.
Oh, back there at the Magic Kingdom.
Yes.
What about at Animal
It's-
Kingdom?
No, we didn't. We did I think it was a quick service meal that we had for lunch. We didn't go to any of the heavier dining places for it. I can't remember which one we went to. I remember that it was very good food. I enjoyed it.
At Animal Kingdom,
Yeah, it was over by the
Restaurantosaurus.
Yeah, that's what it was. And there were burgers, and if you're going to do quick service meals, I recommend getting that My Disney Experience app. You can order from there instead of having to go in the line.
Mobile ordering
Yes.
pro at 12. This is amazing.
You know,
That's awesome.
get all the details.
That's right. I like that.
You can go grab a seat, and then you'll get a notification on your phone when it's ready.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and fly on over to Hollywood Studios. Tell us about some of your favorite rides at Hollywood Studios.
Mine is Slinky Dog Dash.
Yeah,
It's my new favorite.
Well, now, was this y'all's first time to go on it?
Yes, it was.
We went on it 2 times whenever we went to
You
Hollywood
did.
Studios.
It was worth waiting in line.
Yeah,
Yes,
it
we
was
had
about a 3-hour wait, I'd say, for the first time we did it. We didn't have fast passes.
2.5.
2.5 to 3, yeah.
Oh my
Right.
gosh.
It was very fun though. I enjoyed it a lot. You do it in the daytime. You can see a sneak peek on one of the high up drops that you go to, you can see over at the new Star Wars area
They're
there, and
building.
you can see like
you can kind of see over it.
Yeah, but
That's cool.
That's a plus for the day. I would recommend going at night though, because it kind of has light up like LEDs on it.
I hear Toy Story Land at night is pretty beautiful,
Yeah.
and it's nicer because the sun's not on you.
And there is another ride there. It's the
Alien swirling saucers?
Spin. Yeah, the saucers. We had a fast pass for it. I would say if you have like 3, 4, do a fast pass. We weren't heavy on it. I personally felt it was a waste of a fast pass.
Really?
Yes, it was very boring.
What do you compare it to for little kids?
It would be fun for like littler ones. It really isn't too much of anything. It's kind of like a spin, but you don't spin. It like kind of
It's like a drifting thing.
pretty much. That's what it is. You're attached on the back
Can
of
you
an alien.
control it?
No, you can't.
Just
And
drifts
it's
wherever?
two, like spinning platforms, and when it connects, it'll like kind of whip you to one side, and then you'll go back to the other, and that's
Can
pretty much it.
all kids ride, even babies?
I think so. Yeah.
So
I'm not
it's
sure.
good if your kids aren't tall enough to
Yeah,
do
I think
Slinky
it's
Dog.
like 2.5 foot around. No higher than 3 foot, I'd say.
Okay.
If you're our age, I don't recommend waiting in line for that.
Yeah, it was not worth it.
Okay, so
Very
listen,
nice.
everybody. Alien swirling saucers. Don't waste your top tier fast pass on this one. If
you're
you
old.
have an older kid who would rather do Slinky Dog or one of the other thrill rides,
Yes.
skip this one. What about the line? Did the line seem as long for this ride?
It was long.
It still was long?
Yeah, I think it was like an hour and a half.
But you're saying it's not worth it, huh?
No, it's not.
Unless you have like 2 4-year-olds or 2 like 3 and 5,
But
then they would have a blast.
What about
Toy Story Mania?
Toy Story Mania?
We got there early, and that was the first one we did, and that was always the big main thing at Hollywood Studios. I
Yeah,
felt like.
for
and
sure.
Usually it would be like 2.5 or even sometimes over 3-hour waits.
What makes Toy Story Mania so fun for kids?
Competitive. It's very competitive.
Yes.
You can compete against family members, friends, if you're going with a different group of friends. You get to see each other's scores, and it's just games. And it's like a game and ride together.
That's a great point. What's the game part like, Weston?
It's like you are shooting at targets, and you just have to. It's like a limited time before it whips you to different.
You shoot the targets, and you're also wearing the 3D glasses, right? So it looks right at you, and it's like a video game that you're riding.
Yes.
And that's one of the things I love about it too. Who wins out of y'all?
Mom.
Ooh,
Yeah, she's the
Mama
champ of that.
Courtney winning, and she
the
beat
best.
both of y'all.
Yeah, she beat everybody. She even beat my dad. But
What?
my dad is the champion at Magic Kingdom on the Buzz Lightyear one.
Oh, the Buzz Lightyear one.
That one's his strong suit.
If you have to compare Buzz Lightyear and Toy Story Mania, since they're both similarly themed and there's a similar aspect in that they're both a shooting sort of game, which one's most fun?
Toy Story Mania.
Boom. Y'all heard it from the source.
I like it because it has more diverse options. Like you can go to different games, so they're all different. Sometimes you have to have plates
At Toy
sometimes
Story
pop
Mania.
balloons.
Yeah, and it doesn't hurt your hand as much as the Buzz Lightyear one seems like it.
It's
it
more
hurts.
like a pull. You have like a little plastic
Yeah.
ball, and you have to pull it, and it's got like a rope attached.
Okay.
So I'd say it goes like 2 inches. So you can rapid fire it. It's
Okay.
fun.
What about other rides at Hollywood Studios that y'all like?
Also about Toy Story Mania, there is a meet and greet of Woody and Jessie.
Yes, there is. Is that worth the wait?
Yeah.
Yes.
It was fairly short. I think ours was like 30 minutes, and I really enjoyed it. It's great for littler ones, I'd say, if you have like autograph books or you're wanting to get a couple pictures in. And pictures, I would recommend doing the photo pass.
Yes.
If you do that.
Like
'cause
Memory
that's-
Maker?
Yeah, the Memory Maker. That's
Did y'all
very nice.
ever do photo books autograph books when y'all were little?
We did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do y'all still do them?
No, not as much anymore.
Okay. So, what about other favorite rides at Hollywood Studios?
Mine, Rock and Roller Coaster.
Ooh,
Yeah,
yes.
by far. That's probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite, roller coaster. Very fast.
And Upside Down.
Yes.
It's 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds, I believe.
Fun fact about this
Okay.
is that it's the only roller coaster at Disney that goes upside down.
That is so
on Disney
true.
property.
And it's one of that ride and again Primeval Whirl are the only ones that have that height restriction of like 48 or 48 inches. So it's one you have to be. It's the biggest ride there technically, like in terms of height restrictions. And have y'all always liked that? Are there any rides y'all were actually scared of?
He
Tower
rode
of Terror.
Oh yeah.
Oh, do y'all ride Tower of Terror?
Never again. I did it for the well, not first time, but I've only ever done it twice. The first time was when I was probably 6 or 7, I'd say.
But you did it
I was
again.
horrified. Yeah, I did it last year because my dad was like, "I'll give you like $20 if you do it," because we had fast passes for it. And I was like, "I'm not doing it."
You got bribed.
Not doing it. Yeah. Never got that $20. It reminded me of how horribly I dreaded that.
What's so scary about Tower of Terror?
It's not scary. I mean, if you have like 5-year-olds and they see the story thing, scary.
That's what got me.
The premise of it, like the ghosts and stuff.
Yeah, that was the scary part.
It's like whenever you go into the lobby area in the hotel,
it's all
and you go into that room,
old-fashioned.
and you watch the kind of like the
Pre-show,
short clip of the Twilight Zone.
Yep.
It's
That-
like no.
So it sets the scene for terror.
Yes.
So it truly is the Tower of Terror.
Definitely.
What about the drop part? Did y'all?
That's my.
It's a
Don't like it.
turning. It's like a. It's not a turning thing.
It's the elevator. How do you deal with the elevator drop? How is that scary?
It turns your stomach.
Ooh.
Grip it.
Ooh.
They have like handles on the side, and my knuckles were white from.
Have you ever accidentally grabbed someone's leg?
Oh yeah.
Yep,
I think so.
that happens, guys.
It does.
If you don't find a handle in time, you'll grab someone's leg.
Yeah, and if you're sitting by
A
someone
stranger.
that you don't know, and you better get that handle quick.
It gets
Start
awkward.
grabbing for it.
It gets awkward because they take a picture too.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Okay.
You should see our pictures.
Yes, ride pictures are something that is fun. Now, speaking of ride pictures, I think what's very interesting with y'all's family is you guys are kind of the ride picture family experts. What
Yes.
in the world?
We
Do y'all plan this
Yes,
every
we
time
do.
you have a
We do.
ride picture?
We always memorize where the picture is gonna be.
Uh-huh.
Do something funny.
Yes, like we look at our magic bands or
Washes.
yeah.
And so y'all just plan ahead of time. Okay, when we get to the picture spot, we are going to...
Yeah.
Yes.
Pirates of the Caribbean, we all laid on each other like we were asleep.
That's
Yes,
so
we just
funny.
sleep train.
So guys, if this may be more for experienced park goers, but to make things a little more interesting with families, you can pose your family pictures on these rides. It's really
You
fun.
can ask cast members
They'll tell you where it is usually.
where the
Okay, they'll kind of tell you ahead of time.
Yes.
and this is cool in Magic Kingdom, the Haunted Mansion. He actually got the maids there. They have bat names.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's really cool. If you go there and the maids, they have headbands and they all have bats on them. And
They all have names.
yeah, so you can be like, what's your bat's name?
And you know what's great is that your mom had already mentioned that story, and so check out episode 10 to hear a little bit more about that.
really
We heard that was really cool. So anything else before we wrap things up? Anything else from Hollywood Studios that y'all think is worth
Yes.
noting?
The Frozen ride. Or, not the ride, the attraction.
The sing along.
Yes.
Is it worth checking out?
Yes, it
I
is.
honestly
It's
loved
really
it.
Funny.
If you have,
Little kids.
yeah.
If you go to Frozen Ride, do y'all ever plan it? Do y'all follow along that cast member? I think his name's Equity Ben. Do
No.
y'all know who I'm talking about? Okay, never mind.
But
But he's supposed to be like this really great character. He's one of the storytellers,
the
historian.
attraction.
yeah.
He's the main
He's
historian.
hilarious. That's why
He's supposed to be
If you have,
the
like-
best.
yeah.
His name's Equity Ben, and you can follow him on Instagram, guys, by the way, to see where he's going to be located in the parks.
It's very fun.
I hear he's great.
Yeah, I would say that I personally wasn't looking forward to Frozen,
Right.
but he
No kidding.
made it very enjoyable. I didn't do
Even
any of the
for
sing-along.
boys.
Oh yeah, it was
10-year-old and
great.
12-year-old boys.
I loved
The
it. He
Frozen
was
sing-along, guys.
hilarious. His dance moves were the best. He made like hilarious remarks.
I'm gonna have to check that out again, because when I went several years ago, I mean, it was a long time ago. It was really boring. I'm gonna be honest with you. It was really boring.
It was.
But now I hear lots of good reviews about it.
It's awesome.
Now, are y'all looking forward to the opening of Galaxy's Edge?
Yes.
Star Wars Land?
There is the Star Wars area over there.
Sure.
But we never really do that because of the ride. I think there's like over 100 different stories that you can do, so it's always different.
And it's it's a simulator ride.
Sure.
For real.
Another thing about that, how I said it was over like 100 different stories, Tower of Terror. Every single time is different. And if you didn't know that, every drop,
every time drop cycle, guys, they may drop you a few times, they may drop you more than a few times. It's horrible. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. It's horrible.
So it's always different.
Back in my day, guys, they did a teeny tiny drop. They took you up to the very top and then dropped you once, and that was the purest form and the best way to ride it. And then they changed it, and now people like me get sick on it.
Another thing at Hollywood Studios, definitely check out Indiana Jones.
The Stunt Spectacular.
Yeah.
Is it fun? Is it worth sitting through?
They took out the one. Yeah, it was. It was very fun. They took out the one stunt show.
Do they still have the big rolling thing?
They do. Ball? Yeah, that's really cool.
Okay.
If you're littler, like 2 and 3, they might get a little freaked out by it. It's kind of intense.
Really?
There's like fake gunshots that are pretty
really.
Fun. It's just kind of pops.
Man, I haven't done that.
It might be sensitive to ears.
And that's one of the opening day attractions at Hollywood Studios back when it was called MGM. So now let's go through rides real quick. Which rides would you skip if you could do it again? Like, what are your least favorite rides in all the parks? Go.
Alien Swirling Saucer.
All right, there it is. Not a fan.
Tower of Terror.
Tower of Terror. What else? What should 10 and 12-year-old people avoid?
This is hard. Winnie the Pooh.
Not good for older kids. Not very fun and exciting.
Small World.
Small World. Yep.
Boring to me.
Yep. It's boring.
I don't like Peter Pan. It's okay.
Peter Pan's okay. It's kind of.
It's interesting, but it's still.
It's more for younger kids, I'd say.
Okay.
I've done it a bunch of times too, so that kind of takes away the first moment, like, effect of it. So that one's okay now. It's still a very fun ride.
They've added, though. If you get fast passes for it, you don't get to do this, but through the line,
there's
like a new game kind
There's
of
new
thing.
things in the line, and I've never seen it because I've always done a fast pass.
The bedrooms of the kids' rooms. It's really cool.
Okay, well, anything else? Any other tips? Last tip?
Souvenir was Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom. It was a spell book. This is in the Magic Kingdom, and it was probably one of my favorite things there. You can go over by where the old firehouse is at Magic Kingdom, and they give you a map, and you go and
they give you a deck of cards, right?
Yes, and they're like spell cards.
And it's free, guys. It's free.
Free, and it's amazing. If you're not wanting to spend a whole lot of money on souvenirs, I would recommend doing that.
And you can get a free pack of cards each day you enter the Magic Kingdom.
For every member in your family, and they come with like 5 cards, and they give you a map, and you go around to these portals. You'll probably notice them if you're at Magic Kingdom. They're like little mirrors, and you tap your band on locks.
It's like a scavenger hunt, right?
Pretty much. It is. It's very fun. You work together to cast your spells against Hades' forces of evil.
Okay.
And it's really fun. I personally loved it, and the aspect of being able to trade with people and just getting new ones and trying to unlock those. And when you get a new one, and when you do get a new one, it's like kind of exhilarating. That's
really fun, and I've just recently heard about that. I think we may explore that. There's also, I think, a pirate adventure one that's kind of similar.
There is, yeah. That's over by Pirates of the Caribbean.
How long do these scavenger hunts last?
I think that if you go and try and do it all in one day, I think I read that it's around 2 hours to do all of it. I saw somewhere online about it. I was reading some stuff about it. Some groups will have like a dedicated day at the Magic Kingdom just for doing that.
Well, interesting. Any other tips before we sign off? Any other tips for kids?
Have fun.
Yeah.
That's it. Ooh, another thing at the Magic Kingdom though. Sorry, I keep every time.
It's great.
Every time I just think of a new one. If you go to the teacups early, if you're the first one in line, you get to ride with Alice. She'll be
What?
there in the morning. If you get there, and you're
Are you kidding?
No, I'm being serious. If you're the very first people in line, if Alice is there that day, Alice will get on your teacup with you and ride the ride with you.
That blew my mind. I had no clue this was possible.
It
What?
was really cool.
Also at Magic Kingdom, there's a fireworks show called
Yes.
Happily Ever After.
Uh-huh.
It's really cool.
I think
There's
it's like around
9:15.
9:15. Yeah.
And it's cool to watch, too. It's not just the
Yes.
fireworks. You actually watch
And
the
it's
projections.
music, and they have like projections on
And
the castle.
Tinkerbell for the girls, she comes
Like
out of the
the
castle and
Like a projection.
Yeah, and
No,
she's on a
it's-
zip line, and she has like
No, a real person.
Yeah, it's a real person.
It's a real
yeah.
person.
And she's on a zip line, and she has like LEDs on it, and she has a wand, and like I think it's like I don't know what exactly that it is, but it's like a fairy dust kind of.
Oh, wow.
kinda
But you
drops
have to position yourself in front of the castle to be able to
Yes.
see all this.
People were lining up there at like 8 o'clock. Like,
That's crazy.
actually no, we saw people
That's
at
crazy.
6, 3 hours ahead of time
That's insane.
on one day. They were reserving seats 3.5 hours before it started.
Whoa, did y'all do that?
No, that was not waste of time completely. If you want to do it and get a semi-well seat, 8:45 latest or earliest.
Okay. Well, that's great. Well, I think that's going to wrap up today. Thank y'all so much
Yeah.
for joining me.
Thanks
I
for
really
having us.
appreciate it. I feel like I could talk to y'all for like several hours because y'all have such good information.
Oh, yeah.
And so thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate all your input. This is going to be very helpful to some of the listeners. So thanks again, my audience, for checking out Roadtrip WDW. And again, for those who are interested in planning a Branson vacation, check out that other podcast at Roadtrip Branson. I just wanted to say just another little closing line about this family that I just interviewed from last week and this week. They have such good information to have individually, and I'll probably have them back on again after their other trips. So I look forward to interviewing them, and maybe I can get Dad on board to do kind of a man's show with my own husband, and they can go over how Disney World is for adult men, because I know sometimes as a mom and wife that it's kind of a challenge to convince husbands to want to go to Disney World, but here we are. We've got two husbands that are hooked on Disney, so you'll have to tune in to hear more about that. So again, thanks for checking us out, and I'll catch y'all next time. Bye.